And this is where we are at. Just to finalize our discussion on Yala as well, we're to hear from Farah Maalim why some of the legislation that are coming from the Yala Parliament, when they're brought to Parliament here in the country, they never see light of day. Will that change with the 13th Parliament? Farah Maalim.
You know, ordinarily, and I will only look at one case, I look at the European Union. The laws at the European Union are superior to all the laws of all other constituent governments and legislatures. So basically, you have to have that piece of East African community has got to come together, in which case we will have to make certain amendments into our own constitution in which we say.
Wouldn't that really be usurping also the sovereignty
no.
of the country?
You're looking at a union pretty much that progressively over a period of time is going to become a confederation. That is the ultimate objective. The objective is a customs union,
common market,
a common market, and then a political union finally. Monetary, common currency, monetary, and then finally a political union. That's exactly what the so-called 13 original states of the United States were about. These were independent 13 different states that came together. So we are coming together right now. So we cannot make a fundamental decision to come together in every aspect of our lives, and then begin playing hanky-panky business along the way. And that's exactly how we ended up destroying this community in the 70s. And they say it was destroyed by the likes of Njonjo and others who were basically beholden to the so-called Western interests, who saw this emerging powerful market which was going to become independent from them as a threat to the long-term European domination of the African continent's, resources. And you are told that the European Union was crafted, is a concept taken from the East African community. Look, I remember as a young man, a 14 years old young man, I traveled all the way from Garissa to visit my uncle in Arusha for holidays. And I visited my uncle in Arusha. I was given Tanzanian shillings. I used those Tanzanian shillings when I came back to buy everything I wanted to buy here. And very often you'll be given the change in Ugandan shillings, in Tanzanian shillings, in Kenyan shillings. You get all this mixed up. I personally experienced that. And as he puts it, everything was common. The East African Airways used to train their pilots on those fixed wings and small light planes in Soroti. You get my point? There was the East African National Shipping Line. And that was my first place where I was trained myself as a marine engineer. I don't know, most of you don't know that. I trained as a marine engineer myself.
Oh, you're a marine engineer?
Yes, I started off as a marine engineer. I studied law and other disciplines much later.
You finished? That's the thing.
Yes, I did finish. I'm not registered.
Starting is another thing. You can actually...
No, I started my career. That was my first discipline. That was my first, what you call, professional discipline. And I had my friends. We had 6 ships. Actually, Zambia joined us. There was MV Harambe, or what did you call it, Harambe? Uhuru, I can't remember, one of the two. And then MV Uganda. You get my point. MV, there was the Zanzibar was there, Ujamaa was there. There was also one from Zanzibar, because Zanzibar and Tanzania were 2 countries that are independent from one another, that essentially came together, and they were still consummating their own union. We had Mulungushi, MV Mulungushi. So we basically had a national shipping line. We had everything common in the port of Mombasa. We had a common customs. I remember somebody who was late, and now since deceased, who was a Kenyan and was working in Dar es Salaam. There was the East African common harbors, East African railways, and all those were common services. We had the parliament also, which was in it was not in Arusha those days.
He used to see it sat in Nairobi. It used to move. And
No. I thought it sat in Uganda.
The Yakla.
Yakla. Where did it sit?
The 1948 one.
No. The later ones, post-independence, sat, I think, in Uganda.
Yeah.
It sat in Uganda. And Robert Ouko started off his politics there as a member of parliament, as a minister in the community's parliament. They had ministers. So what happened? We destroyed it. Kenya destroyed it. We were used by the West to destroy that very powerful budding thing, because Uganda basically got rid of all the Europeans those days, and all that vestiges of colonialism and the rest of it. And you remember what Idi Amin did
with the Indians as well.
Idi Amin did with everybody. I mean, so this is something that Ugandans are proud of Idi Amin because of that. You know what I mean? Among other things, it accelerated the desire for the African people themselves to take charge of this. By the way, we started taking charge of our own economy here after the Somali refugees came in here, and they taught us that we can do it ourselves. But before that, the entire CBD here was either Asian or European. You remember that very well. It's up until 1991.
Down to River Road.
Yes, down to River Road, down to Grogan Road, down to everywhere. You get my point? And these Somalis came and said, what the hell? And then they pulled up, they basically went on importing from outside, going with Kenyans, and that's how we ended up actually opening up our eyes. But let me tell you, the East African dream, which was the best dream ever in this continent, was killed by Kenyans. By the way, let me tell you one thing. We killed it for selfish reasons. Very selfish reasons.
And that's why we've seen even recently,
yes,
Tanzania, Uganda, they've been greatly shy to...
They are shy because they don't trust us anymore.
They don't trust Kenya.
Yes, and then what we did, we just we seized all those assets, by the way. You know that. We stole all the assets that belong to the common services.
No, it happened in one day.
Did we steal?
What happened?
Let me finish. Let me finish. Call a spade a spade. If you're a crook, you say we were crooks. Let me tell you, you cannot. Let me tell you. So
this thievery began.
We have always been thugs. We have always been thugs and corrupt. Let me tell you one thing. Let me explain something to you.
Yeah.
You know, we say in my language, I want Dr. Nyikal to hear this. If you have a boil in here which has got pus inside, you can never treat that boil by massaging it. You have to look
lance it
for a knife and literally,
Yeah. Wherever there's pus, remove it.
Wherever there's pus, remove it.
What's the Latin word?
Ibi pus, ibi evacua.
Ibi pus,
ibi evacua. Evacuate the pus. You get my point.
I
like it.
I'm partly also from a medical family, so basically I know what you're saying. Now let me tell you one thing. And this is exactly what we need to do. We need to be brutally honest with ourselves and tell ourselves, look, right now everybody's shy of us in Tanzania, in Uganda, and the rest of us, because we given an opportunity, we will rob their ATMs, we will rob what you call everything else within a day. You know what I mean? And a lot of things have happened. There's so many Kenyans who are in jail in Tanzania, in Uganda, and the rest of them. We can't go after them because of the fishy things they were doing. You get my point? So, but in any case, now we are getting into a community together in which Tanzanians only went south when they lost hope with us. They went to SADC when they totally lost hope with us, and say, look, these people can never be redeemed. You get my point? I mean, it was the man-eat-man stories and the rest of it. Nyakal remembers that very well.
Smuggling from
Walanguzi.
Uganda.
No, Walanguzi. For coffee for Uganda. Chepkube. What did we do? We took an entire harvest of that country through our own, including politicians who ended up in jail. You you get my point? The smuggling, the ivory trade. These were done by the people at top, the government, the top government. When I say top, I mean top. There were even rumors that, not rumors, it's a fact, that the first family was involved in that. You know what I mean? At the time I'm talking about. So basically we have a repetition deficit that we need to deal with.
Let me come to Ajiko, because I think the sins of our forefathers have been revisited.
Not forefathers. Not forefathers. No, we were there. Me and him were there. It's just the other day. It's just the other day. We're all in college.
You're all in college, brothers.
And Maura may have been born or about to be born.